Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pop Culture Over... Wait, let's do this the right way. Hello,
Take two.
Yeah, take two. Hello, and welcome to Pop Culture Over Pizza, the only podcast that talks about pop culture over pizza.
Of which we have none.
Yeah, well, we don't have none. Yeah, you see, you just ruined it, so whatever.
You just let out the secret.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we're recording at like almost 11 o'clock at night, so everybody's kind of eating everything that they're going to eat. So.
Yeah. Life happens. We can't
Yeah.
always have pizza. That would be a really bad idea if you had pizza every time you did something important.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
Although we do try to have pizza every single podcast. So.
well, that's why it's called Pop Culture Over Pizza, you know? So anyway, I am your host, Walt. Guys, introduce yourselves.
This is Metatron. Greetings.
Elias, always use Gucci, never Versace.
The big bad wolf, Wolfie.
And so we are missing two of our members here. Jose could not be with us here tonight, and ASAP Balrog is out defending the country. We hope to get him back sometime in August. So, but we will miss those two guys here. It's been a while since we've been on this podcast.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten together and done some work.
Yeah, it's been about a month. Life happens, and it just so happens that since we are a family podcast, when life happens, it happens to all of us, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we're back, and we're going to do our geek outs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So for the people who haven't been on this podcast before and listened to us, Geek Outs is where our hosts, they talk about the stuff that they've listened to and geeked out over while we've been off air. I'm going to start because I just finished watching a DC animated movie.
Hey, you're forgetting about two other people.
Who? Hello?
Blink, blink.
Blink Blink. Who's Blink Blink?
He's blinking over here to try to send, like, Morse code messages to Walt.
Okay.
Metatron.
Yes,
Me?
I know. We are going to get into
Okay,
that.
okay,
We're going to get into that.
okay. Okay,
Chill, dude.
okay.
Okay. So,
Someone's got energy
I'm
for a late night.
telling you know? What is in that jet cup? I don't know, man.
Some version of Elias is here.
Okay. Well, anyway, my geek out this week was the DC Animated Universe movie Batman Hush. And this was something that I was really looking forward to because I love the graphic novel. And, they've been hyping it up for quite a while. And I gotta say that I'm a little baffled at how the movie went. And Metatron and Elias can, chime in on this because the graphic and listen, I understand that when you're doing adaptations, you have license to kind of change the source material a little bit, right? Change the source material, they went all out.
That's kind of crazy to me because Hush is one of those, like, seminal Batman pieces. Like, when people ask me, like, what comic, if I want to read Batman, what should I get into? I say, Hush is probably one of the three that you should get into. You know what I mean?
It's a fact.
Absolutely.
Because
So it's like, it's almost like it's almost like a Bible. They just, like, it introduces all, like, the villains.
You got
all
the
the
entire
backstory.
rogues gallery there.
Yeah, exactly.
And
they're gonna change that, and it's not even like see, this kind of stuff happens when it's like, let's say X-Men licensed to Fox, and then Fox is like, well, I don't know comics, but I know movies, so I'm gonna do whatever I want with X-Men.
exactly.
This is DC making a DC film.
And the interesting thing is that the DC animated movies, they're generally really well done. I mean,
and they're usually even better than their
exactly. They're better
counterparts.
than the movie counterparts.
Yeah.
Basically, the DC animated space is what the MCU is for Marvel.
Yes,
They
yes.
dominate that space.
Yeah.
DC dominates the animated space. And like I said, most of the adaptations have been pretty good, but we do have the instances of, like, The Killing Joke, which was a little bit divisive when it came out. I'm not a person that is one of those guys that said, no, you have to follow it exactly the way the book is. I'm fine with creative license, so I'm having a tough time deciding whether I actually like this movie or not because the changes are so in your
Oh my
face.
gosh, I'm wondering because
Like-
the thing is, like, I don't see how much leeway you can actually have with Hush. It's so intricate. Like, I'm assuming that there's like some plot holes. If you change anything, like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
And
I don't
so
understand.
well, let's put it this way, and I'm not going to spoil the movie because there's a lot of it just came out on digital just recently, and I think it's coming out on DVD and Blu-ray probably in like about 2 or 3 weeks from now.
Okay.
So I'm not going to spoil it, but I will say this: the opening scene, you remember who the villain is? It's Killer Croc.
Yeah.
They swapped them out and they put in Bane instead.
What?
And the motivations for the two individuals are starkly different because if you remember in the book, Killer Croc, his motivation was that he wanted to escape Gotham. He was tired of all this stuff. In this one, and I like I said, I'm not going to spoil it, but Bane has a very, very different motivation. Catwoman is in it. She plays a much bigger role than in the book. And like I said, they make changes. So I'm probably going to have to revisit it again. Just
I was gonna tell you, I
see-
think maybe watch it again.
I think
and
it-
kind of don't watch it with like comparing it to the book this time, maybe, and then
it's
see
hard,
it. Yeah.
though. It's
I mean, yeah.
really, really is. You
That's
know
crazy,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
That's interesting.
to quote Metatron, his thought on the movie was that it's underwhelming.
Well, more so the end was underwhelming.
Yeah. So.
So true.
And especially when he pointed out what the real ending of the comic book was.
Wait, you didn't read it?
No, I've never read it.
Oh my God! What the?
You're not even a DC fan for that.
All right,
Oh
little
my God! You have to
fanboy,
read
back
Hush.
off.
I have it. You want me to let you
I
borrow
have
it?
it.
I have it right there, and I also
You
have
have
it
to
on
read
digital.
Hush. It's Hush is really, really amazing.
You should. It introduces all of the rogues gallery. Well, most of them. Most of the villains are in that book.
Yeah.
So it's a good starting point for anybody who is never really.
It's such an awesome twist at
Yeah,
the end
exactly.
too.
Oh,
They
wow.
changed the end.
Dude.
Oh my God! I
Dude.
don't want to watch it anymore.
That's
Yeah.
why they made it underwhelming.
Don't call
No,
it Hush.
Watch it, because I'm interested on what your take is
Oh,
going to be
man.
on this. To be honest,
I'm gonna do it for the cause. I'm gonna do it for you people out there.
there you go. One other thing, and I'm gonna make this really quick. There's another thing that I'm kind of geeking out over, and this is because I'm a '70s kid. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Oh right,
A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine?
Oh yeah.
The trailer came out.
yeah.
And I gotta say, it brings back memories. I used to watch.
Well, for the
Mr.
people
Rogers.
that don't know
Yes.
what you're talking about,
The name of the movie is called "It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood," right?
Yeah.
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 That's what it is, and it's basically a retelling. It's not really truly a biographical account. They take license with it a little bit,
Yeah, I
but it's
guess so,
Mr.
yeah.
Rogers' Neighborhood. And Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers, who looks fantastic.
he does.
He looks spot on. Even his mannerisms. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to.
that's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah. So, what are you guys geeking out about?
Metatron.
Oh, well, see, I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of been in a weird place, sort of in and out of time. Time is weird. But whatever I have been doing with my spare time, if not drawing, which I guess picked up again, or I haven't really played much games. I mean, me and Elias here, we've been doing like a Minecraft map. It's pretty good. But other than that, aside from desperately trying to catch up to shows, it's like I have the time, but like I don't want to do it. I don't know why.
You have the motivation.
Yeah, it's weird.
The heck?
Why?
But-
Summer vacation.
I
Yeah.
know.
Maybe it's the heat, because it has been rather.
The heat's been insane.
Here in New York, it's been disgusting.
But
we just
not-
caught a break today.
Today and today and
It's
yesterday.
going
was-
back up to the 90s in
Oh
like
my
a couple
God.
of days. So
Please.
But notwithstanding, the thing I have been consistently watching is I've been watching the original Dragon Ball.
Okay. I have yet to watch the original, actually.
what?
Yeah.
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 As big as a Dragon Ball.
I
fan?
know. I just, I haven't. it's just these days I don't have too much time to dedicate to like a lot of stuff. I'll catch an anime episode here and there. Like if I have a time, I'll binge something. But Dragon Ball is one of those things that like I haven't. I'm still trying to finish Shippuden, so I don't know if it's ever gonna happen.
I'll see you in 10 years,
At least.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
So that's really been it.
how far have you gotten along in Dragon Ball?
Tambourine.
Yes, I just started up on the King Piccolo saga.
Okay.
All right. That's
I mean,
cool.
I know most of the storylines. I've read some of the manga.
Wow,
so,
Meta.
You know,
That's so far.
It actually is. It's
No, I
towards the end.
What episode number is that? It's like what, in the 60s, the 70s?
It's like 100 and something.
Oh, well,
Wait,
I was way
what?
off.
there you go. So that's quite a few
Yeah.
episodes. You've definitely been.
You've been watching it since the beginning? Like, not even skipping episodes.
Seriously.
Dude.
Now that
What about
is what
you,
I
then?
call commitment.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you committed to?
Okay, so, even though a lot of people say I'm a Fortnite addict, I haven't been playing Fortnite. I haven't even seen the live event, actually. Well, I have on YouTube.
Oh no,
Oh,
you
that
haven't
World
seen the
Cup,
live event.
No.
You know they had
There's not a
kaijus on there?
tournament?
there is a
I have
tournament.
no
Yeah, that's
idea
the
what.
cup.
Yeah, but there's another live event. So there are two things that I've been geeking out about. First thing, I'm gonna talk about the Fortnite thing, which I didn't see, but I saw it on YouTube.
Okay.
So I saw it, technically.
You
Speaking.
saw it, but you didn't see it. But
Yeah.
you saw it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I mean.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, there was a live event. Kind of reminded me of Godzilla.
Kaijus
Yeah.
and uncomfortable
So,
silence
yeah,
falls.
So they had a mech versus, I guess can I just say kaiju? 'Cause I don't know.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
if it's a giant monster, it's basically a kaiju.
Well, it's called Caddis.
So for us uninitiated, can you tell everybody what kaiju is?
Oh yeah. Okay, so, Metatron, I think you know of a kaiju.
He is the expert in kaiju.
Yeah,
at
so-
So
this
give us a
table.
definition of kaiju.
Yeah, you.
For the people that
Well,
are listening and don't know.
Kaiju
what
is more or less the generalized term for a giant monster in Japanese.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they had this awesome fight, and I gotta admit, Epic Games, I praise you. I literally praise you. There was this fight, well, like I said, but it was awesome, dude. The way that they did it kind of reminded me of an actual Godzilla movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Like,
Meta disapproves.
no, you watch it for yourself. You watch it for yourself.
Wasn't it more like Pacific Rim because they had that huge?
Okay, it was
robot?
kind of like Pacific Rim, but it was also kind of like Godzilla,
That makes sense.
because they had those. Because you'd notice in most of the Godzilla movies that where they have something like, I'll just give you an example. Doggus the mech,
Mm-hmm.
he, like, I guess you could say tackled him while flying, and then like tackled him all the way into the water. He came out and everybody thought he was winning, so everybody was like cheering, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then out of nowhere it comes out, and it just comes from behind and just grabs onto him.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was pretty cool.
And the funny thing is that all of this is happening while people are playing their battle royale,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So not only do you have to worry about getting killed by the other players, you got to worry about a freaking 10-story monster falling on top of you, right?
But I don't actually think you had any
really
weapons.
like Godzilla.
I don't remember.
Oh, people were just
you know,
walking around watching the fight.
No,
Get
they
to,
had
like-
jetpacks.
Oh,
Okay.
so
I
not
don't-
just
I
walking
don't
around,
remember.
they're flying around, but.
But if they
but
did, then that would be awesome.
That's pretty cool that you get to like experience the live event. It's
Yeah.
kind of like an MMORPG when they have events and everything, and you like aren't watching it, you're a part of it.
Somebody even tried to case the mech so that it wouldn't get out.
Oh boy.
That was,
That went well.
yeah. Okay, so my second geek out, the more, I guess you could say, interesting, the more fun one, I guess.
They're both
So,
fun. They're both fun.
yeah. So like Meta, I've been getting into some drawing. more often, and I decided to start animating, right? And
Which is sick. It's awesome.
I thought it was like I thought it's better to watch animations more than draw one, but first animation I did, SSJ4 versus Baby Vegeta. Awesome. Went perfectly well. Well, until I deleted it. The next one I'm working on a storyline, which I actually wrote down. So basically it's about hoodlums in like an apocalyptic world where like everything's like weird. It's kind of like I based it loosely off of Akira, which
Whoa.
if you haven't seen that, it's one of the most famous. I think it is the most famous.
One of them. Yeah.
One of
It's
them.
definitely up there. Yeah, it's one of those like, hey, like, how do I get into anime? What should I watch? Akira, Ghost in a Shell.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. It has a little bit of Shazam in it. It has a little bit of
Shazam and Akira. Whoa.
Akira. Yeah, it has. It's crazy. Like I only started like season 1. I started working on the storyboarding. Second storyboarding is gonna be like
Insane.
not even joking. Universes are gonna be destroyed.
Can't wait to
That's-
see it, man.
Yeah. So, if anything, I'll give you a sneak peek.
Better.
Yeah. So these kids, they're scavengers. They find some artifact. They read it. Another gang kills some of the hoodlums, and then they use the artifacts, and they find out that you can fuse together.
So then some Dragon Ball too?
Yeah, kind of. So they all fuse together into one kid, and that's powerful. That was powerful enough, because according to like the artifact.
Is that like Saiyan fusion or is that like Namekian fusion? Where they all just come
Tune in
together?
and you'll find out.
Yeah, that's
Tune
true.
in and you'll find out.
We'll leave you
Yeah.
hanging.
No,
with
that's
that
awesome.
one.
I can't wait to see the animation and hear more about it. I can't wait for it to be all fleshed out.
Thanks.
My geek, I'm only geeking out kind of like on one thing, and I mean, yeah, pretty much. And it's House of X. So Marvel, it just literally came out today. I got it in my pull list. I went to go pick up my pull list at Vinyl Fantasy over here in Bushwick, and you know, I've been waiting for this simply because like from what it seems after, you know, Avengers Endgame and just, you know, the craziness that's been happening and all that, it seems like Marvel is now focusing a little bit more on like cleaning up some stuff in the comics world, and they're basically from so far from what I understand from news is that they're going to basically relaunch the entire X-Men universe, in with like House of X and Powers of X, which are going to be two bi-weekly series that are going to be coming out. They're 6-issue miniseries each, and then after that, in November and October, they're going to relaunch 6 new titles that are going to be based off of the House of X and Powers of X storylines that they create. Now, this
you know-
first issue, yeah, your question.
No. Do we know the name of the titles? Or
We don't have the name of the titles yet.
So they're keeping that in
Yeah,
their
I'm
pocket
assuming that
right
it's
now.
going to be like Uncanny X-Men and Astonishing X-Men and stuff like that.
Okay.
They're probably going to get like redone. I know that X-Men Gold, X-Men Red, X-Men Blue, those have been canceled. You know, they're pretty much doing away with a lot of the X-Men titles and lines that are out.
Well,
now
now they have it under their umbrella. So.
yeah, now that they have it under their umbrella, they're like, well, let's. That's what I think. What's happening is that like they know that they're gonna do X-Men in Phase 5, right? Which we're gonna talk about in a little bit, hopefully. Yeah. Maybe just touch on it. So I think they're kind of like setting the bedrock now,
Which
You
is
know what I
smart.
mean?
Which is smart.
but it would be kind of crazy simply because of this first issue of House of X. One of the first things you see is, you know, Xavier's walking around with, you know, basically a helmet that I'm to assume is Cerebro. And the whole premise of House of X so far is not to give too many spoilers, but to give you a little bit of backstory. after the mutants and Professor X have like this island that they want to be recognized by the entire world as a legitimate state in Krakoa for all mutants.
Interesting.
And they're negotiating with the world powers on giving them. They've grown this plant that only grows on their island. A plant that creates 3 pills. That one that extends human life by 5 years.
Okay.
Another one that cures any mental illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot what the third one was. But essentially, they're like, look, if you give us recognition as a state, okay, for the world, we'll give you these pills.
Boy, that's a
now the way that
huge
these pills are being
bargain
manufactured is that Xavier has bought one of the top 10 pharmaceutical companies in the entire world to manufacture these pills. And so
Rite Aid.
Rite Aid.
and basically, you know, this country, Krakoa, the island of Krakoa, is a safe haven for all mutants. Amnesty complete. Doesn't matter who it is. I even see, you know, there's some classic villains in the comic that are now apparently, you know, part of this whole future. This whole future that Xavier is creating and Magneto is the ambassador for.
Oh my gosh.
So the ambassador to the UN for Krakoa is Magneto, and he is the one now following Xavier, and they both have a shared plan for the future.
So let me get this straight. They are accepting. I get where Xavier would say we're accepting all mutants, right? But but that's under the backdrop of him trying to create a state. So he's accepting villains as well. That doesn't help with
all right. So here's the thing.
Stuff,
all right.
right?
So exactly. So here's the thing. Xavier's tune has changed because it doesn't seem like Xavier anymore cares about the humans anymore.
Oh wow, that's a big change.
So exactly, because now Xavier's basically the status of this of the world at this point is that mutant population is rising exponentially, and within the next 25 years, I think they state in the book, the mutants are going to be the majority species in the world. Homo sapiens are on the way out, and Xavier's like, look, we're going to be the future, and you can't stop it. All we can do is you leave us alone, and you stay in your corner. We can give you something to extend your life a little bit, but we no longer want anything to do with saving you and helping you and stuff.
There's some real world tones in that book.
Oh yes.
You know.
Oh yes.
I can hear it already.
And I'm telling you right now, like page by page, the artwork is absolutely phenomenal. It's a 10 out of 10. The dialogue, the story, everything is just, it's so good. I'm like blown away just by this first issue, and I don't know what's gonna happen. But mind you, like everything that I've said about Xavier, Xavier hasn't spoken a single word yet in the book. This is all from Magneto's mouth, which makes it even more interesting. You know,
there may be something to that.
No, nope.
No,
No.
there's no.
They show
Xavier.
Xavier. They show Xavier. He's like in Krakoa. He's basically like, you know, kind of like this holier than thou, like father figure, walking around the gardens and stuff like that. And, you know, Cyclops is in there, and Cyclops, you know, so something happens with, like, a trio of classic villains, Mystique, Toad, and Sabretooth. They try to escape. Fantastic Four makes an appearance. They capture Sabretooth, and Cyclops shows up as an ambassador from Krakoa, trying to get Sabretooth back to Krakoa as, you know, saying that, like, oh, well, you know, we have amnesty for all mutants. And he's trying to get, like, Sabretooth back. And, you know, Reed Richards is like, are you sure this is how you want to do things? And Cyclops is like, yeah, Xavier's vision is different now. And, you know, we've been told to hide and this and that and the other. Not anymore. We're good. So you let us know when we could pick up Sabretooth. Literally what he said.
Dude, that's such a stark change. You know what I'm saying?
Huge,
It's
huge. It
something- I
literally
gotta
blows
check that
X-Men out the like. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna reread this issue because it was absolutely
I
phenomenal.
have to check that out.
I'm
because
tempted to pick this up
It's so
myself.
God,
Same.
exactly.
Sounds
yeah,
bonkers.
it's so wild.
I find it interesting the name of the title because there is that famous comic book line House of M,
Yes,
in which in that one the mutants are gone.
yes,
And
yes.
it's interesting the choice that they used, House of X,
Yeah.
which they're bringing the X-Men and the mutants to the forefront again.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they've reacquired the movie rights. So,
Well, so an interesting thing that happened, and let me just get some reference material real quick.
Google is our friend.
Google is our friend. What's his name?
That was episode 104, by the way.
Which one?
Oh, that you're on.
Yeah.
Oh, 104 on the Dragon Ball thing? Dude, you're going through that like with a quickness.
So Jonathan Hickman is the
he's
writer.
great. He's great.
Absolutely phenomenal. I just want to make sure that it was John or Jonathan. He is the one that kind of completely revamped Avengers.
Yes.
Killed off a bunch of people and kind of reset the Avengers universe. They put him onto X-Men to do that.
That's a smart choice.
So,
choice.
I honestly, I'm telling you guys, I cannot wait.
So you're going to probably see this type of mutant on the screen, because generally what Marvel likes to do is they and they do it a lot in their games.
Yeah.
In the mobile game space and stuff like that, what they do is they kind of, before they actually put it out there, they kind of like give it a test run to see if people are interested in a character and stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like this is what they're doing with this here, that they're kind of getting people prepared for
Man.
the MCU version, and this is how they're doing it. Interestingly enough, with Hickman at the helm.
Yes, that's true. I don't know how like they're gonna be able to do it, because like, everybody has, obviously, through all the X-Men films, through all the years of X-Men, it's almost like Spider-Man canon. Everybody knows Spider-Man's story, right? Peter Parker's story. A lot of people know the X-Men stories, and it's one thing to like kind of change it here and there. It's a whole other thing to completely change who Xavier is. I mean, he's walking around.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
He's walking around and everything, and Magneto's basically like his lackey. It's weird.
For some reason, I have to think that this is going to be like one of these Hail Hydra Captain America swerves.
I honestly, I don't think so. It doesn't have that feel. It doesn't
Okay.
have that feel. Because the thing is that you have Jean Grey and Cyclops, these like tried and true X-Men that are not
Mind control.
No, I don't think so.
I'm doing the finger waves with the jujus. Mind
Nah, see, here's the
control,
thing, man.
you
Like
know?
Jean Grey's an Omega level telepath. I don't think that anybody's gonna be able to take control of her.
Unless
what?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it just doesn't have the. It feels like, because here's the thing, right? Like, this is all taking place after the Genosha genocide that killed 16 million mutants, and I think that was like the straw that broke the camel's back for Xavier. And he's like
Something like that would change
Yeah.
somebody's priorities, and
yeah, he's
they're-
like, I'm my job right now is now to mutants are gonna. Like, we can't save the humans. I think they've come to the realization that they can't save the humans even if they try, because the humans are gonna be extinct.
Yeah.
So why keep trying and putting themselves on a line of fire and all that?
Sounds like an interesting book. We have
Yeah.
to definitely check it out.